Welcome to the Ring of WNBA show. I'm very excited because I have so much to talk about with you guys, and I have Chaunte'l Powell on here, one of the members of No Cap Space, ethical hoops hater, all ball, no lies. All right, so WNBA free agency has kicked off, and it is chaotic. There have been a couple of big trades, and we are going to see the ripple effects of that. Let's just try to get through as much as possible because there's so much to talk about. Let's start with the Connecticut Sun, since that's the one that just most recently happened. Alyssa Thomas, after spending her entire career in Connecticut, getting interrupted by kids' birthday parties, sharing the facilities with the tribal members of the Mohegan Sun, is finally, after much posturing, after much hand-wringing, going to a team that has their own training facilities. Did you see her in the Olympics just eyeing it? Because I feel like that is the moment. That is the moment that this was planted in her head. Alyssa Thomas is going to the Phoenix Mercury for Natasha Cloud, Rebecca Allen, the number 12 pick in the 2025 draft. And Ty Harris is also going with her.
This trade is a trade because I feel like neither team got better. I feel like both, because here's the thing. I'm not super high on Alyssa Thomas because I'm kind of like, if this is the best player on your team, she can't lift her arms and shoot a jumper, you're a little bit limited in what happens in crunch time. So
okay, but what about putting her shoulders in this new institution that has, I imagine, infrared saunas, all of that stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Unless they have a charger now that we can just so it stops falling off the bone, and now we're just rotisserie chicken. I don't know, and then stick it back on. But
I don't know if it's like a takesy backseat situation with her shoulders. I don't know if there's much regeneration.
Me neither. So if they can, get her that quick trip out to Germany and see what happens. But
HBA.
Hello.
Get on it.
We didn't say anything. That's enough for me. But it's, to me,
you want to really prove that you are one of the owners that's serious, you better start incurring some CBA violations, my guy.
If you not cheating, you not trying. Come on now, step it up. But no, to me, it's dependent upon what Brittney Griner does and what Brittney Griner shows, because that's your difference maker in the franchise. That's who you have to go through. Kahleah Copper was a great addition. I feel like, I'm not a Sophie Cunningham fan, but she's filled her role, quite well in the last couple seasons. So it's they underachieved greatly in, Coach Riblett's first year. I didn't know what to expect. And it's just 1 minute they're scoring 40 points in a game like a JV team, and then the next they're beating, a contender, and then the next they're doing whatever, and then I don't know, reality happened. But they were wildly inconsistent, but I feel on paper they had the right team. So to now kind of blow it up, I think that to me means BG ain't staying. Yeah, that's to me the only reason I do something like that.
Yeah, so look, I'm a lot higher on Alyssa Thomas than you are. She is one of my favorite players in the W. I just love how versatile she is. But to your point on the shoulders, not a shooter in an offense where you thought that they were going to be prioritizing shooting with what Nate Tibbetts wants to do. However, she could potentially be surrounded by a number of shooters, and she is one of the best screen setters, one of the best passers, an excellent dribble handoff player. I think that's going to look really good next to Kahleah Copper. I think that's going to look really good next to Ty Harris. We've seen it look really good next to Ty Harris. Sophie Cunningham was Phoenix's best shooter last year. Who knows if she'll even be there? And hey, the other thing is, they might not have immediately improved, but you throw in some DeWanna Bonner, free agent, her wife, who probably is going to want to be playing alongside her, started off her career with the Phoenix Mercury. They can create the cap space to bring her in, fills the hole that they had all last season at the 4 position. You play Alyssa Thomas at the 5, which in the modern W is her rightful position. Now, all of a sudden, you've surrounded her with shooters. And then if you want to get really, really carried away, which it seems like maybe the Mercury want to do, maybe they want to pull a Phoenix Suns and try to go real big game hunting, try to construct a super team. Satu Sabali, according to Alexa Philippou, is meeting with not only the New York Liberty, but also the Phoenix Mercury.
Okay, so here's my thing with that. I'm still not completely sold because you don't have, if this is all indicating that BG is leaving, who's protecting the rim? Natasha Mack? Respectfully, she did her thing, but respectfully, is going from BG to Natasha Mack, there is a difference. And then DeWanna Bonner, forgive me for the ageism.
Yeah.
However, we're sliding into 40 with no breaks. She ain't there yet, but she's sliding on into it.
Look, if she can play the amount of games that she played with the Connecticut facilities, I'm not necessarily worried about her durability, at least for the next year or two.
Not durability, but it's still just like Father Time comes for everyone.
I don't know, man. She just guarded Caitlin Clark in the playoffs. She just guarded Courtney Williams in the playoffs. Like, I don't worry about DeWanna Bonner. I need to see her age before I think she's going to age.
Christy Sides guarded Caitlin Clark in the playoffs.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That was the Indiana Fever's best defender.
Touché.
But no, yes. But that's my thing. Okay. Because when she's on MVP caliber, like, and I'm not even like glazing, like she has the potential to be that player, but it's just like, are we going to see it? Are we not going to see it? Are we going to see it? Are we gonna, like, it just depends. And I don't know what's in the water in Phoenix. Maybe Mercury. Hopefully not, because that
wouldn't be good.
Yeah. But it's something about Phoenix that's very inconsistent once again. So if you bring a player who is kind of has tendencies to be inconsistent at times to a team under Coach Riblitz, who is also he hasn't gotten them. I don't know. Maybe he'll figure it out in year 2. You know, he has a daughter, so that is experience in coaching women. I don't know. Like, he said that at the press conference. He's like, I'm a girl dad. Like, that's on my resume. Like, okay, cool. And she had twins, so count it twice. Maybe the girl dad connection to girl mom I don't know. I don't know. I'm just, the size concerns me from a defensive standpoint. Bringing Satu in, that sounds clunky to me. It sounds kind of clunky.
Okay, first I have to say, we're talking about a bit of a pipe dream. It's not a total pipe dream. There are definitely ways that they can make it happen. Especially, I mean, a lot of this is actually contingent on, well, the Satu side of it. I think they can go and get DeWanna Bonner anyways, because Sophie Cunningham's contract is not guaranteed next year. They could also potentially put her in a trade as well, so they can go and get DeWanna Bonner. I also imagine for both her and Alyssa Thomas at this point in their careers, they're probably prioritizing being together, being on a team that will take care of them. As you point out, DeWanna Bonner 37, Alyssa Thomas 32 years old. So I imagine they can, some little cap chicanery, a little negotiations, make that happen. If Diana Taurasi retires, that opens up the space for Satu Sabali. So I just want to make it clear that this is actually very, very doable. And in that universe where this is doable, there's not a single part of me that's like, oh no, they're losing Brittney Griner. Now, Natasha Cloud, that's a conversation we should probably have, especially if they don't go and pull off this home run move, which, by the way, would also, I mean, the Phoenix Suns parallels here are incredible, because the problem with trying to go and get Satu right now is that Phoenix does not have their 2026 pick. They traded that for Clea Copper. They just traded the pick for, hold up.
Oh, we got
Brian's telling us that we got breaking news. Brittney Griner has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Dream.
What?
Yeah.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Live reactions here, because That was not. Whoa! The Atlanta Dream.
The Atlanta Dream. Not exactly a Carl Smesco player.
Yeah. So and not.
Although he does want.
I'm just thinking of like
some stops.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of like her destinations. So like what? I don't know. It was just rumored she was going to the Aces. And so we go from that to like the Dream. That's kind of out of left field.
What is so wait. What is gonna happen with Tina Charles then?
They put her back in storage.
Damn, that's cold. It's been a cold day. It's been a very cold, business-minded day.
Yeah. And I'm kind of glad we're in the mentality of this is strictly business and we don't have to do the whole like these people have families, like think about their children. Like, no, put them in the trade machine. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. You're like, let's dehumanize them the way that we do in other sports. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Equality. Let's do this. Equality. But speaking of equality, like, isn't the Phoenix Suns that experiment currently failing?
So I mean, this is what it would take, right? To get Satou Sabally, right? That would
a lot of people getting the heck on.
Giving up that 2027 first round pick, which just according to Richard Cohen of Her Hoop Stats just became available after January 21st. So they would have to go in and just say like, this is win now. We're not developing. Celeste Taylor is our young player of the future. And
I like it.
I like Celeste Taylor a lot.
I do too.
I'm a fan. But that's what it would take. And honestly, if they actually pull this off and you have now Ty Harris, and then you add Satou's playmaking alongside Alyssa Thomas's playmaking, this is not a team that really needs a traditional point guard. They just need shooters. Satou Sabally is an excellent spot-up shooter. DeWanna Bonner is an excellent spot-up shooter. Ty Harris, we already know. Like, and Kalia
Steady
Copper.
Point guard.
I mean, come on. This is an incredible starting lineup. Look, yes, the defense is going to be a problem, but they are going to score on any and everybody that they want to. And then you just bring back your reserve players. Like, you bring back Taylor, you bring back Natasha Mack, you bring back Harrigan. Hey, that's a team.
It's going to be a lot of lanky players. Yeah, it's going to be like a lot of big guard type players. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. Like a bunch of 6'4" players that also could play, multiple positions. But like, rest in peace to the Connecticut Sister Wives if this all goes through. Like, they had a great run. There was a time when, yeah. For those unfamiliar, like they had like 2, maybe 3 couples. Yeah, because I think the coaches were married. Because Christmas Kelly. Did that overlap? I might be wrong. But they did have a lot of couples. Love came through Connecticut.
Yeah, Cupid's
is my point. Yeah. Love was in Connecticut. Rest in peace, Connecticut Sister Wives.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want to talk about the Connecticut side of this? What do you think of the return?
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, that was still your anchor and your rock, and you didn't make a splash and get, like, a super big name in return. Because Natasha Cloud can hoop. Who else did they send? Natasha Cloud, Rebecca Allen. Oh, man, Rebecca Allen, the Sabrina stopper. Love her. But it's still just, you're going to
I'm surprised that you think Sabrina needs a stopper.
That's true. Her shoes are her biggest stopper.
Hey, okay.
But on the court, I've gotten some great pictures sent to me of Rebecca Allen absolutely swatting her stuff repeatedly, consistently, whatever team Rebecca Allen's playing for. And I appreciate her for that.
Is that what you look at when you're sad? You're having a bad day. You just look at
the montage. Yeah. I have a mini thread.
You have a folder?
Yeah. No, me and the homie Tay, like, we made like a thread. So whenever she gets her jump beat, like, we're just like, see, we told y'all. And it's just blocks.
All right. Or I'm gonna
sending it to the rafters.
Right, I'm gonna save Sabrina for later. But yeah, Natasha Cloud. Look, as far as somebody who can contribute right away, you also need a point guard now that Alyssa Thomas is gone. You can't just go by committee with these guards, and Alyssa Thomas is a playmaker. So you get that. I'm curious how she will be in Rashid Mezion's new system as well. But I don't know. Like it just feels like a lot of guard play. It feels like a lot of thrown together. I do think that this does put him in a good position to be able to resign Bree Jones and just give her the max and kind of keep it rolling with this team. But I'm also curious. And then if you bring in an Emma Mieseman as well, who has that relationship with Rashid going back to overseas, then maybe you can actually kind of cobble something together and see if you can be a playoff team next year. But I'm kind of just curious what they'll do because I'm curious what their goals are, if they want to go in that direction or if they're kind of cool with going down the rebuilding pathway as well, because then that kind of opens up some possibilities for them to trade into the draft.
Yeah, because they've been consistently in this like no man's land where you're always like right there, but not quite there. And then, but you're still too far along to blow it up. But, you know, I trust Bree Jones. Olivia Nelson-Adota, congratulations.
Yo, yeah.
You just got an upgrade. Emma Mieseman, that is a good pickup if they can swing it. But if they could like pick up Mieseman and she still has that like caliber of play that we saw with the Mystics, like Connecticut might, you know, make something shape. A potential first round upset team.
That will, like, I think they'll be fun to watch, though. Like, I look forward to. You don't think they'll be fun to watch? I think they'll be fun to watch.
I don't typically watch the Connecticut Sun for enjoyment. I watch it because it's on.
Okay, that was
respectfully.
Like, that was very like that was very Carmi from the Bear of you. Just like I don't do this for enjoyment. I do not need to be a vessel for enjoyment. This is simply my trade.
Well, okay, so let me back up.
I provide joy for others. I do not enjoy myself.
Like, they haven't been the most exciting style to watch.
Right.
I don't, so that might change, maybe. Do I think so now as currently constructed? No. Could they surprise me and make a liar? Maybe I'm capping. I don't know. Could they prove I'm a liar? We'll see. I will apologize on air to the Connecticut Sun if they become exciting.
Okay, we'll have to bring you back in that eventuality. Let's talk about the blockbuster. You ready to? You have anything else to say about the Sun Mercury trade, or should we move on?
No, thank you.
Okay, all right. No, thank you. No, thank you. Can you just keep it moving? Oh my God! Stop burying the lead.
Good.
Stop burying the lead. The LA Sparks. The LA Sparks made a huge splash. Huge splash. They traded for Kelsey Plum on Sunday night. Giving up the number 2 pick. To me, is that's the biggest part of this trade to dig into. I wrote a piece at the ringer.com about this, about LA kind of making a big splash. I think that this seems like I'm plugging myself. Absolutely. Somebody's got to do it. You know what I mean?
Like, speaking of versatility, we love to see it.
Thank you so much. So, all right. So they trade the number 2 pick and Lee Uiro in exchange for Kelsey Plum. They also get back the number 9 pick and the Storm's 2026 second round pick. The framework for this deal had existed apparently for weeks, according to Annie Kostova, who was also the first to report any inklings of this deal happening. And then ESPN confirmed it, or ESPN broke it, rather. I think this is a fascinating move. Let's start with the LA part of it, because I just think that the risk versus reward here is really interesting. I think LA's position in the WNBA as a big market that's just been kind of asleep at the wheel in probably the time that big markets could thrive the most in terms of being able to throw money, resources, and be a real attraction in an era of player movement. They just haven't been. They've been kind of gone, you know, like Candace leaves, Chelsea Gray leaves, NECA leaves. They all leave for greener pastures. Everybody else in the W starts getting their practice facilities up, getting their amenities up, and the Sparks, I don't know what they were doing, honestly. So this feels like an announcement that they have arrived, that they are back. But what do you think about giving up the number 2 pick? Do you think it was too much? Where are you at?
Okay, so first off, if you're still waiting to jump Derek Fisher, stay in line. Because everything you just said is because of him.
Fault.
We are here because of him. And I like it. Yeah. You get a championship guard with experience who is looking to like step into the role of fulfilling her number one pick destiny and leading a team to higher heights on her own. So I like it. You pair that with the young core of Rakia and Cam, and you didn't give up either of them. So to me, you don't have to wait on the number 2 pick to get acclimated, if at all. You already have an established Kelsey Plum. So I like what the Sparks did, and yeah, I don't think it's if you're gonna give up the number 2 pick, you got to do something. Mm-hmm. You got to do something major. And I think they did enough to like justify that move.
Yeah. Kelsey Plum, former number 1 pick herself, multiple time All-Star champion, also a dog. Like, I think if you are, at the head of a young team and you want to make a move like this, you also have to think about the person that you're bringing in. And I don't think that they could bring in somebody more disciplined who has like a better work ethic than Kelsey Plum, who like has consistently gotten better through the course of her career with basically the exception of last year where everybody on the Aces was just tired as hell. And even then you can never say that she wasn't giving an effort, So I think just bringing her into the locker room is huge. But I also so Alexa Philippou also reported that Kelsey Plum hopes to stay with the Sparks after this year. Obviously, she's only going to sign a 1-year deal. Everybody's waiting for that 2026 cap spike to lock in long term. I would consider this an audition up until the point that she actually signs, because this is also a team that does not have its own practice facility, that is coming out of everything that we just talked about, that played, the start of its season this season and this past season in Long Beach in front of basically nobody. And that shouldn't have been happening.
Embarrassing.
Now the Clippers have moved to Intuit Dome, so maybe that doesn't happen necessarily this time around. And, I don't know what's going on in Lakerland right about now, but it doesn't seem great. Doesn't seem great when my group chat is like, should we be going for De'Aaron Fox and knowing that you're not going to get him? So that's a different story. That's a different podcast. We have many of those podcasts here at The Ringer, if you want. But that might change. They will eventually have a practice facility. They have announced that they're going to have a practice facility. If they have not, to the best of my knowledge, the shovels have not hit the ground yet. I don't know that they have even chosen the ground in which those shovels are going to hit. So it is all still somewhat hypothetical. And it's going to have to become concrete. And I think that Kelsey Plum is going to have to probably believe that it's concrete, because she's coming from the Las Vegas Aces, a franchise that will incur fines, that does rub up against the CBA, that has a state-of-the-art practice facility. It actually set the standard for the rest of the WNBA. And it's part of the reason that, the Sparks aren't necessarily a destination anymore. Surely on that note, I think it's just fascinating from a, WNBA team hierarchy power perspective that Sparks were able to pull this off and that they could potentially keep her. But I do think that regardless of what she says in these situations, you've seen it in sports, like, you have to wait until the pen actually hits the paper. And I think that especially this applies right now.
Yeah, and I think something interesting of note, De'Erica Hamby's response, that to me was very, very interesting. So I think that duo's got something to prove, and they're going to go out and make it happen. And like you said, it's about the people you bring in, as well as, the X's and O's. And they already have chemistry. They've already won together, been in the trenches together. She seems happy that she's there. This could be fun. Mm-hmm. This could be fun.
Yeah.
I will guess on the fun meter, Connecticut.
I think the Sparks will definitely be higher on the fun meter for sure. They're going to be fantastic on the fun meter. That's not that's not a question at all. If you get a healthy
offensively, actually, because defensively,
look, if Cam can find a way not to foul out, I think we might be looking okay defensively. Look,
so first off, she's coming off of a severe injury. And then two, I think that's like ingrained in her DNA. Like it's just you're gonna
true.
get
Hey, rookie block
6
leader
blocks
before she got hurt though. So
exactly. So now it's you get what you get. It's a package deal. The fouls come.
That's true
with everything.
But that actually gets to part of the reason that I do wish that they had kind of waited as well, because Cammy's coming off a major injury. I do think that, it would have been nice for her to be able to get some reps and, potentially get fouls like that down a little bit. And Rukia is also somebody who is improving defensively, is probably how I would put it right now. And I do think that she definitely has the potential to be a good defender. I think it's something that, the Sparks former coaching staff definitely put an emphasis on with her. But, another year of that would have been cool, in my opinion.